And it's Ken Kraetzer for CaMMVetsMedia. We have a chance to talk Navy today and talk with the president of the Navy League Council of New York, and that is Captain Frank Russo. Frank, how are you today?
Good, Ken. Good. Thank you very much for having me on your program today.
Our pleasure. And you've got a big event coming up on October 5th at John Jay College, your Maritime Security Conference for 2023, Navigating Global Commerce and Conflict. And I attended last year, and what a great day it was.
Thank you. Thank you. Last year was our first inaugural. You're always a little nervous for those first ones, but it was a great day. Good discussion, good attendance, and we're excited about this year. I think the overall topic is really being developed from potential conflict in the Indo-Pacific region primarily, but obviously globally, and what role the U.S. flag merchant marine and the U.S. shipping industry as a whole, the maritime industry as a whole, will play in that. So operating in a contested environment.
Well, one of the special events at your conference I want to lead with is an award presentation to two World War II merchant marine sailors. There will receive the Merchant Marine Congressional Gold Medal replica presentation. Yep. And gosh, what the Merchant Marine did in World War II to serve our country and keep the lifeline of logistics open can never be understated. And you have a member of Congress there who's going to help you do the presentation.
Yeah, so we're really excited about this. Congress authorized the gold medal last year. These two individuals were not able to attend the ceremony down in D.C. back in June. So we're really excited. I think as many of us whose parents, fathers, mothers, uncles served during the war, there's always that special connection with World War II vets. And I think the unsung hero in that war were the merchant mariners. All the attention was given to the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. But if it wasn't for the merchant mariners braving, the convoys, especially in the Atlantic, the outcome definitely in Europe could have been entirely different. So these guys, they took a high hit rate, casualty rate, and it's time that they got their due. So we're excited. Congressman Jerry Nadler from New York's 10th Congressional District will be making the presentation, and we're excited. It's exciting. It's great to honor the greatest generation.
Absolutely, and we always remember the 4 chaplains lost on a troop ship off of Iceland, and so many other merchant mariners. We were down at the memorial down in Lower Manhattan, Battery Park, for the start of New York City Fleet Week for a special ceremony, remembering those lost in the Battle of the Atlantic. Yes.
Yeah, we cannot forget how important the Battle of the Atlantic was to our success in Europe. And it's due to the courage of these individuals, to demand the merchant vessels, to sail the convoys, and face the U-boats.
Well, that'll be a special moment, and you've got a very special guest to offering opening remarks, and that is a Commandant of the Coast Guard, Admiral Linda Fagan. We've met before at your events, and that'll be great to see the Commandant there to open up the event.
We're very excited. She opened up our last event last year, and we're excited to have her back. She's a true friend of New York Council, obviously a true friend of the Navy League, and it'd be great to get her perspective on the topic and her views as to, U.S. flag merchant marine, given the fact that the Coast Guard is the primary regulator of the merchant marine. So we're excited. She's always provides insightful insights and a great perspective.
You got a bunch of great sessions, just like you did last year, and your opening panel is By Sea, Land, and Air, the Infrastructure and Logistics of the Possible. That should be a good kickoff. Who's some of the speakers in that one?
So for that one, on that one, we're scheduled to have, for example, Jennifer Carpenter. She's moderating it from American Waterways Organization. We also have with us Peter Bergeron from Port Canaveral, Tom Boyle from the South Carolina Ports Authority, Charleston, as well as Massport's Port Director Joseph Morris, and then Tom Kane from Young American Capital to bring the finance perspective to the table.
Very good.
You know,
you've got two sessions coming up in 11 o'clock from Sea to Shining Sea: Strategic Partnerships on the High Seas.
Yeah, we're really excited about this one. You know, the topics, are there alternatives to the Belt and Road Initiative of China, the role of NATO's allies, existing and potential strategic allies, and the role of the Pacific allies. I mean, and we're also very excited about our panelists. Kathy Metcalf, President of Chamber of Shipping of America, is moderating it. We also have John Caverly from the U.S. Naval War College. We have Stephen Carmel, Senior Vice President for Maersk Lines, as well as Gregory Poling from the Center for Strategic and Maritime Studies, Strategic and International Studies, as well as Rear Admiral John Marger, Commander, U.S. Coast Guard District 1 out of Boston, which covers the New York area. So I think that's going to be an exciting one. And I think, especially for Admiral Marger, he's coming right off of the submersible incident where he had to coordinate across allies the rescue and then efforts at that time. So it brings a great perspective. And John's always a great guy to be at any event with.
And then you're going to talk about operating in the far north, melting ice and rising tensions, Arctic shipping, and its implications for the U.S. and allies. Glad to see the Coast Guard has some new icebreakers in the delivery path.
Yeah, I think this is a particularly poignant topic at this time. This is an area where the United States is behind Russia and getting behind China. One of our things that we don't have in abundance are icebreakers. And, you never think of icebreakers, but now with the melting of the ice up in the Arctic and creation of new commercial routes and the issues that's created, it's good to see the Coast Guard commencing to build, the polar security cutters, the new class, and add those capabilities. The challenge is it's going to be a couple of years off. It takes time to build these things. And this is an area that I think that will continue to emerge as a flashpoint, potential flashpoint, with in our I hate to say competition, but however you want to describe it, with Russia and China. And for that, I mean, we have Duke Snyder, President of Martech Polar, Rebecca Penkus from the Wilson Center, and Courtney, I'm going to mispronounce it, Legault, head of Arctic for FedNav. So again, a good set of panelists to bring this to a discussion.
Very good. And you got a great lunchtime keynote, and that will be Admiral Ann Phillips, U.S. Navy retired, from U.S. Maritime Administration.
I think this is, obviously Maritime plays a crucial role in U.S. flag merchant marine, both from a regulatory perspective as well as a financing perspective. They're under several mandates to work with and increase the U.S. flag merchant marine, and I think I'm looking forward to hearing your insights. I think this is a bit of a coup. She doesn't do a whole lot of speaking engagements, so we're very honored and privileged to have her come for this event.
Very good. And then in the afternoon, lead off the bottom line: growing the U.S. commercial portfolio through partnerships. And
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I think this is again, you think in terms of the backbone of American strength is our economic power, and a lot of our economic power comes from our ability to trade, and that trade is primarily on the seas. So, there's that imperative to grow commercial activity, potential opportunities to do so. Things like, what is the appropriate tax structure to help sustain our maritime strength and to grow our maritime strength, commercial resilience. And we're particularly excited with this in the fact that Carl Benzel, Commissioner for the Federal Maritime Commission, is actually moderating that panel. We also have with us Mark Zacconi, who's the executive editor of Journal of Commerce, again, Journal of Commerce being our media sponsor, as well as a Patrick Keffler from Intertanko, Julie Nelson from Cheniere Energy, as well as Jason Fair from Potent Partners. And we're seeing perspective between the container side of the commercial traffic and the tanker side of the commercial traffic. So I think, the FMC, the Federal Maritime Commission, has a new mandate, in addition to promoting maritime industry, as also taking on more of a regulatory role. So I think this will allow for a great discussion among the various aspects on the commercial side. And people may say, well, what does this have to do with national security? Well, the thing is, you got to, I hope everyone understands that if we have to go into a fight, and I'm going to say in the Indo-Pacific, the initial part of transportation of all goods, as we say, the butter and bullets, that's going to be on commercial vessels, taking stuff to a point where it gets transferred to the military side. So we're going to depend upon tankers, container ships to help, and also bulk carriers to help transport, the goods, fuel, bullets, butter, etc. That's going to be required for the fight.
Absolutely, and you've got a very important one on attracting more young Americans into the merchant services and to the workforce outlook, powering today's success and tomorrow's potential. That was a big topic last year and continues to be so important, attracting young people into this profession.
Absolutely, and that's just, I think, a real challenge for the U.S. Merchant Marine is attracting young adults who are willing to go to sea. We have in this country on a collegiate level, obviously we have we have Kings Point U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, as well as 6 other Merchant Marine academies, state level Merchant Marine academies, such as SUNY Maritime College. In addition, then we have below that, obviously the seamen, the engineers that also man these ships. And it's important that we attract and retain talent, because going to sea is not the easiest. It's not easy in life, but we need those who are willing and want to go to sea. And this was a big topic last year. We're excited this year because on our panel for that discussion is Vice Admiral Joanna Noonan, who is president of Kings Point and brings that perspective, as well as Christina Babakis, who's president of WISTA, the women, and I don't remember everything that WISTA stands for, but it's Women Mariners, as well as Olivia Mattioni from SUNY Maritime College. So these are people who are educating and training our next generation of mariners. And you're right, we're currently short on mariners that go to sea. So this is a critical aspect.
And you're wrapping up a very strong program in the afternoon with a panel, Winds of Change, Strategic Risks and Opportunities for U.S. Shipping.
Yep.
And a lot of things to talk about there.
We do. I mean, there are several things both in the shipping community and in the wider global society that are experiencing substantial changes. Things like decarbonization, digitalization, energy transition, rapid technological development and deployment. These are things that are going to impact the merchant marine shipping not just in the United States, but in around the globe. So it's important to start having that discussion, what's going to be the impact on the U.S. and U.S. maritime industry. Again, we have a strong panel where we have Dorothea Ianu from president of the American Club, as well as Sean Plankney, former U.S. Department of Energy official, and others who are going to be addressing the issue. So it's we're excited, very excited.
Well, very strong program. I enjoyed attending last year, and this is again on October 5th at John Jay College in New York. Where is John Jay in Manhattan?
Midtown Manhattan.
Midtown, right?
Yeah,
I think it's on the west side.
Slightly, yeah, I think slightly on the west side. So I should know this, but I don't.
I'll have that in the caption, the address to John Jay College, and the Maritime Security Conference 2023, Navigating Global Commerce and Conflict. And this is sponsored by the New York Council of the Navy League. And Frank,
let me also give a shout out, two things. In addition to New York Council, I'd like to give a shout out to our other sponsors. In particular, again this year we have the Transportation Institute that are sponsoring. The American Maritime Congress is sponsoring. We also have an additional gold sponsor, and I'm just reading off the website, so excuse me, the American Merchant Marine Veterans Association. And then our media sponsor is S&P Global's Journal of Commerce. So
okay.
As a partnership, this doesn't happen in a vacuum. Many people have devoted their time and effort to this. So shout out to those, and as well as support from James Spear at SUNY Maritime College, who's been spearheading our work on this.
Very good. And CaMMVetsMedia will be proud to be there as well. And
look forward to it.
And Captain Frank Russo, tell us about what else you have planned for the Navy League Council of New York City balance of the year.
So for the rest of the year, on a more fun event, our main event, our next main event is on November 16th. It's our 121st annual dinner. It's being held again at the Plaza. We're arranging for our guest speakers. One of the individuals we'll be honoring will be Colonel Jack Jacobs, a big supporter and friend of New York Council, as well as a Vietnam-era Medal of Honor awardee. And we're working on arranging the rest of our honorees and speakers. So it's going to be an exciting evening. It's always a good time at the Plaza. Again, on a more lighter note, we have a members meeting actually this Friday night on the Lilac on the west side of New York. And then on October 21st, we will have a watch party as Navy plays Air Force. We'll have our third year annual watch party for that. Go Navy, beat Air Force. And then on December, I think it's 9th, is when Army and Navy play. We will again have our Army Navy watch party. And again, sorry, Ken, go Navy, be Army. And then we'll have our annual meeting in December. So that's going to wrap up the year. I think it's been a jam-packed year.
Absolutely, highlighted by the commissioning ceremony that you were very involved with hosting of the USS Cooperstown in early May in New York City. Yes. What a wonderful day that was.
That was a tremendous day. It was an exciting day. Beautiful day in New York. It was a great way to welcome USS Cooperstown into the fleet, as well as the sailors and their families.
It was a great week and great event. And Captain Frank Russo, we will look forward to seeing you on October 5th at John Jay College for the Maritime Security Conference for 2023. It's a very important event for everything to do with the sea services.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you for your continued support of what we're trying to do, and appreciate this time with you. Thank you.
Our pleasure. Captain Frank Russo, who is the president and CEO of the New York Council of the Navy League and a veteran of the United States Navy. Good to see you. And this is Ken Kraetzer for CaMMVetsMedia. We cover cadets, midshipmen, the military, and veterans proudly since 2008. Thanks so much for watching today.